They just might be doing
Okay.
it. It could be Bignum Disruptor though, still for sure. I would not be surprised if or they could do like a Bignum Viper and put him in the lane versus the TA.
Yeah, I
Could be
really
mid
wouldn't hate that.
disruptor. We've seen that one time in the past, maybe about 5 years ago.
Have we? What was it? Who
Yeah, I
played it?
remember it, but I don't remember what it did or why or who picked it up. I just have some sort of deep recessed memory about a core mid disruptor. I don't know what it did.
All right.
I think it was when everyone was really big into the disruptor ags muting. I mean, it still does that, but people used to get very excited.
Rush it. Yeah, yeah, I think this could be a 4 Viper. I think it works perfectly fine. I mean, the Timber's probably not going to be dying. You've got decent harass for the TA. Leaving the lane, you don't really make any plays, which kind of sucks, but maybe you're just like building it as an anti-carry. There has to be a reason that you're first phasing this, right? First picking it for your lineup. The
Smart,
only time they've played it was a 5 before, so...
Smart ban on the bat, or sorry, on the Pango in terms of those heroes versus the bat. That like if the bat goes mid, that is a pretty good like instant disengage situation versus a Marcy where you might be able to still distance yourself. And then yeah, the Ember ban. That's another hero that people have actually been going to semi regularly versus the Bat Rider. Just sort of daring you to dive him under the tower and then seeing if you can get the turn with the bolas.
Tell you, this feels like a Storm Spirit game to me, especially with this Bane, right? As long as you're able to get any kind of vision, like if you're able to stay on point, disrupt to one of those heroes that's able to use the kinetic field to scout out on top of cliffs, so you can just place the Sentry Ward for a little bit more efficiency. And yeah, you just start on the Bane every time and then connect through with the rest of the team. Even late game, of course, you've got that additional layer of teamfight, right? Once you got the Ags.
Are we expecting this TA to end up mid, or is it going to be a carry TA? Carry TA against this much DOT seems to me to be a fool's errand.
Yeah, but mid TA is kind of the same. You're just
Yeah, I mean,
changing
it's the
where it's
same
played.
hero.
It's still the
To
win
be
condition,
fair.
right?
And then you lack someone to actually make moves, unfortunately. Like if you put it mid and it gets shut down, it's a little bit worse than putting it safe lane getting shut down.
Yeah.
I guess I'm just thinking if you're putting your entire draft upon a very, very shaky house of a carry that's somewhat countered.
Maybe they could like if you wanted to do mid TA, you could like pos one Monkey King maybe into the Timber Saw. It's not awful. Gives you ability to like start team fights while still having some like pushing utility.
They must have a logic for picking it up because they picked it into the Viper and the Timber Saw, so that was 2 of these 4 counters relatively already on the board.
They might even just be saying, look, Ramsey's... It could be a comfort pick, right? Whenever we've spoken about... I think it was...
Razor, by the way? Any Razor gamers here?
What, an off... Oh, yeah. It'd be doable.
Razor?
What I was saying was, like, the splash damage from the side blades is pure, so that's good against the Timber Saw. And as long as you're just like not constantly hitting him, you're gonna have the meld, right? So Timber Saw actually can kind of be a little bit challenged in the laning phase. It's just what happens beyond that that I'm a little more concerned about. I mean, sure.
Okay. Or 9th pick Dawnbreaker. Yeah, that's pretty good.
So they're going to probably take that off lane and then the bat mid and TA Ramses. Is that correct? Because they outsiders when they were VP at the international were the pioneers of carry Dawnbreaker. So theoretically,
5 seconds.
But
doable.
Not a DM hero. So
what do they want to do?
My games need someone who jumps in first. That is their biggest weakness right now. They need a solid initiation. It's something that gives a little bit of vision for the disruptor.
Queen of Pain. How do you feel about that, Trent?
It jumps in. She doesn't jump out very well though. But a lot of the other heroes are banned out. I do think that you need someone with a little bit more mobility. I don't think you can get away with like a Kunkka per se initiator or something. Maybe Invoker, was it banned? That would have been kind of hype. I know he's got a good Invoker. Yeah, okay. That makes sense. Yeah, I mean, I have seen his Queen of Pain. It was very solid before as well. Thought it was fairly impressive. So it also helps with the matchups, right? No matter where they send this TA, Batrider, or Dawnbreaker, or whoever's coming mid, I think that should be a pretty good matchup.
Danok, how about you?
It is a DM Batrider. That's something super common. Yeah, I don't have a lot of faith in this quap, to be honest. One Dawnbreaker coming through, throw back to TI. I think they just wanted to get out of the laning stage a little bit better than they did in the previous game. Like they value their ability to execute in the end game, but just the early was a little bit of a worry. And yeah, I'm on the same board as you, Trent. Like you jump in well, you give vision, but then
Yeah.
what? You know, it's like
Dude.
a nightmare into a Solar Guardian, into a Dispose, into dead every single time.
I want to see 5 players tipping whoever Ramses kills as Dawnbreaker. I want to see tips like crazy. Like I want to see him just crush this game on Dawnbreaker so that he can start like flaming about this hero.
For sure, Dobby. Very good call.
Thank you.
Okay, well, our panel don't have a lot of faith in this Mind Games draft, but I'll tell you who I've got a lot of faith in. It's our 2 beautiful casters, Ares and lizZard.
Thank you, Mr. James lizZard. We're in for an exciting one here. We have a wonky draft from outsiders. They've firstly, I really appreciate the effort. Looks like you got a new light going on.
Got the little lamp here. I need to get it real close to my face for it to work.
I appreciate the effort very much. lizZard, tell me what's going on. We're in an important series, Mind Games. If they can take this series, of course, they need to send it to Game 3 regardless, but if they can do so, then you can avoid tiebreakers. If outsiders win this, then they can get tiebreakers from important DPC points. But how do you feel like Game 2 is shaping up for us?
I actually find a lot of method to their madness in these 2 drafts. Like even the reasoning behind all the picks, like the chug early on, very early on, but into the bat. Then you answer up with the quap in case they switch lanes. Then outsiders completely negate all of that with their last pick Dawnbreaker. They give them a curveball. They make them think it's an offlane Dawnbreaker, so the quap is mid, right? But it's actually an offlane bat, and TA is mid, and this quap shouldn't have that much of a good lane like she would have had versus a bat. So a lot of curveballs here from both of these teams, confusing even me as I'm describing them. But yeah, we'll see. Look at this gang.
Oh, Ramses, don't do it. I don't know what you just said in all chat, but make sure you do not give up first blood.
Look at them. Look
Oh,
at this
no.
surround. Like this needs to be a screenshot, right?
Oh, big one's
here
gonna
we
go.
come.
Oh, look at the
glimpse.
glimpse. Oh, Slayer getting the skill point in the glimpse. You'd never see it at level 1. But I tell you, it's worth it. Alright, come on. You gotta...
Respect. It's respect, Bratan. That's what he wrote.
Okay.
He sends him his respects. That's it. Bro. Bratan, bro, brother. Everyone knows that. We've all been called Bratan after being screamed at in the game of Dota.
Oh boy. So, you mentioned they wanted to pick this Juggernaut to lane into the Bat Rider. So why do you feel like they've put the Bat as the offlane?
Because you can't put it mid versus Quap. Quap was picked as well afterwards. So they kind of got the only lane that he could have arguably went to was bottom, but you don't want to do that as well. So.
This is very interesting. You see what DM's doing?
With the Firefly?
Yeah, it's
What did he do?
Oh, he just fireflied the first wave. Do you feel like they're just going to look to drag now and avoid this lane matchup?
It looks that way. Like, but what you do? It's not that crazy. What you do versus a jug? You can't really go sticky. He just spins it off. Plus, everyone is starting with a wand, right? If you go sticky, you're literally just feeding him. Those charges. I'm not even sure. Like this Bat Rider, he might just struggle a little bit on the top.
Yeah, I think they've really messed up this next couple of waves up top. Yamich was in a position where he kind of had to bully the Juggernaut out of the lane. Like with Dispose, he wasn't right-clicking the creep wave as well, so they don't kill it fast enough to connect to the next drag. Mm-hmm. And now they've messed that wave up. They've messed the second wave up now as well, so they weren't able to also block the camp. So now the Disruptor's going to be able to play with the hard camp maybe to stop the drags eventually, but you know, it looks like top lane Jug's going to be very comfortable. How about some other lanes, though? What are we worried about in other places?
Yeah, just say I think Bat should farm, especially if the hard camp gets pulled. Like that's probably the best for him, as he can stack some stickies on them and farm that camp. But when it comes to the other lanes, I think on the mid lane Quap versus TA is pretty much evenish, and on the bottom lane is This is a interesting one, right? Because Petrushara on his Timber, he plus Viper, that sounds like a really difficult lane to play into, even if you're a Dawnbreaker.
Yeah, it's a strength hero as well into the Timber. Petrushara hasn't gone for a point in the Whirling Death just yet. I wonder if he's going to consider it for the lane. Often we do see it when you're against kind of like a strength carry.
Yeah, sometimes you get it a bit earlier, but most of the time you get that level 2 armor, and after that you can do whatever, right? Like the level 2 armor pretty much makes you borderline invincible versus a Bane plus a Dawnbreaker. So you get that, and then you can play aggressively from level 4.
We get to see some... We had the carry Pudge in game 1 for Mind Games, and now we get the carry Dawnbreaker. I know they were mentioning that the old lineup of Outsiders, they were playing the Dawnbreaker and actually playing it to great success. But how do you feel about the Dawnbreaker one?
Well, I would argue this isn't your true position 1 Dawnbreaker. Like, you have a TA on mid. If you have a TA mid, you can't have a true carry. Like, usually it doesn't work. Bignum, bottom
I'd
lane.
say Bignum in trouble, yeah. Nice setup from Hakoda. And Rams is able to step in as well. So that's a beautiful combo that they have at the moment. Hakoda just with the Nightmare. Rams is easily able to close the distance and getting a little bit of gold into the bank of the Dawnbreaker.
Like, you can actually argue that Timber getting 2 levels of armor kinda makes that easier to happen. Inkrad, got really low on that mid lane, but we'll get his bottle refilled. Anyways, my point was, if Timber doesn't have any offensive capabilities this early on, and then your position 4 Viper is kind of just sitting duck there, right? Like, he's taking all the damage. They will not be trading any hits with the Timber. Plus, he won't be able to help him, so he's just focused on last hitting.
In general, what do you feel like a position 4 Viper is going to do as well? Because often it's going to get to a stage soon where Petrushara wants to be solo.
Yeah, that's a problem. Usually you want to have some rotating 4 with your Timber, right? Like even something like an Enigma that can farm, or a Tiny that can rotate and just do stuff on the map. Viper can't really do a lot of that, but like, it is a decent game for him. Perhaps rotating mid with a Dust, applying a couple of poison attacks isn't awful, right? It is against the TA, so it can come in handy. But yeah, I can definitely see your point. It's usually better to have some 4 that rotates more naturally.
Yeah, I'm intrigued to see what Yamich as well wants to do on the Outsiders position 4. Are you going to continue to play with DM? Do you want to maybe get some stacks going in the jungle to enable GPK, who actually looks like they're going to put GPK back into the jungle for the moment. He did TP back to base resources. Wonder if he looks like he's going to go back to the lane shortly now. His bottom lane though, Ramses, he's in trouble. Nightmare from Hakoda holds back Petrushara. The Dawnbreaker is going to be able to get out of the lane, but Petrushara, is he going to go for Hakoda? No, not the case.
They're just dodging him as hard as possible right now. Can you do anything about the Timber? Very difficult. Maybe if a Bat Rider rotates in, then he's killable or the tower is defendable. But if the Bat doesn't come, I don't see the other heroes really defending against Petrushara's Timber. He feels very invincible at the moment.
It seems like it's going to be a very awkward early game here from Outsiders. Like, Bat Rider needs Boots of Travel. You want Ancient stacks. TA wants Ancient stacks. Ramses is going to lose his lane. He's going to be shoved out pretty shortly. I guess the most important thing, though, is that Outsiders hold that thought top lane. A little bit of trouble is going to be Dino. They get the glimpse away from Yamich, but DM still is diving out of the tower with the Firefly and the sticky napalm stack, but look at the rotation. Aincrab drops the Sonic Wave. They get the 1-for-1. Yamich is going to be able to TP out, though, so DM, he does trade his life for the carry on Mind Games.
Yeah, that tip is because if Queen of Pain came in just a second or two earlier, right, he most likely saves the jug. but yeah, he BMs him a little bit with the tips there. Nice rotation from Aincrad though. He gets a lot of it, and it's important. It's more important to have your Queen of Pain off on a good start than it is to have your Jug, right? Like it's just so much nicer to have your
What I
playmaker.
mean, look at
get all
this,
these
DM.
kills.
He's got a TP down. First use of the lasso of the game, and they should be able to get a big kill onto Petashara. Beautifully done. DM kills the Juggernaut top, then feels like he has an opportunity to rotate down bottom to shut down the Timber.
That was exactly the move that we called for, right? Who's the one hero that can actually take down Timbersaw on the bottom lane? It's the Bat. So Bat makes a move on top on Jug, dies, doesn't TP back top but goes bottom, defends the tower and kills the Timber. Mid
The
lane.
River, Yamich is actually going to jump forward to try and deal with Slayer, giving GPK a little bit of a speed boost. They've got the Solar Guardian as well. Do they have the damage through the stun control? Aincrad just blinks out to the right side, but Yakota's hunting. Yamich once again is going to be in with the rebound, and they can surround the Queen of Pain. So beautifully done from Outsiders. They get 2 kills.
I just feel that outsiders are getting more out of less in two games in a row now. If you remember that first game, they also struggled in the laning stage, right? Like the lanes didn't go amazingly well for them. And then they still kind of make these small plays. Top lane, Ramses? There's a glimpse, probably. Yeah, there is.
And there's Omni or Blade Fury. If Adino wants to play with, he's actually not going to look to get aggressive onto Ramses. Okay.
Too many creeps, I guess, for that level 1 Omni slash. You don't even have a Javelin. Chances are you don't kill and you just waste the Omni.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if he was going to Blade Fury.
Yeah, that could have been an option. Maybe someone TP's in, right? Like the tier 1 tower is still standing.
Exactly like this. Yamich not going to be able to get the dispose. They're doing a good job, though, to maybe put some pressure onto Dino, potentially forcing him back into the jungle. You are giving a lot of space to the Templar Assassin. And GPK freely taking these stacks at the triangle. Top of the net worth is their TA.
It's the real state of the game. The real state of the game is Ramses, top lane.
He's going to TP into the Sonic Wave. Ramses, nothing he can do. Just tries to get as much damage as he possibly can with one last swipe.
Yeah, because he's the one that's creating space this game. It's not a mid laner. Like, he's the true position. I don't know if you can call him 2 or 3, because I feel that both him and Batrider fit that same 2.5 position, right? Like, let's just do stuff on the map, create enough space for GPK's TA to carry us, to roll out of control and eventually carry us.
Well, the panel was mentioning that it's not a free Templar Assassin game by any stretch of the imagination. So, do you feel like it's still going to be scary for GPK maybe through the early to mid game, or can he, with all the farm that they're being able to give over to him, can he carry this game for Outsiders?
I think TA can most of the time carry the game no matter what, right?
Slayer.
There's the admin. By the way, 100 FPS. Can I off camera? You're just as big of a zoomer. For you, at 100 FPS is probably low, right?
What are you trying to say? What?
You just don't remember the good old times, like the good old times of Dota and Dota 1 when we would play with, like, if you get 30 FPS and if you can see all the heroes and particles on the map, you're happy. You're a happy chap. Admin, I think admin is snoozing a little bit.
I can only imagine what Dota 1 would have looked like. I don't know.
Dude, like,
God damn.
From Morphling in Dota 1, I only saw the bracers. Like the bracers and the shadow underneath him. Good stuff.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, look at the position we're in. A beta game that's providing us with so much enjoyment.
Yeah, now 100 FPS is the
Dude,
problem.
Slayer. Such an admin response. Oh, God.
It's been a long season. Teams kind of understand the rules, right? So, and Slayer has been around forever. He feels like an admin at this point.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, you see just the friendliness he has with some of the players on Outsiders as well. And you also see the little bit of banter that we had back and forth in game one. GBK and Petashara. So I'm gonna be keeping tabs on that this game. I want the banter to continue. What's going on bottom lane? Timber, he's gonna be brought down. DM and Hakoda. It's a big kill for them to find. DM wasn't required to use the lasso. Hakoda was just able to step in with the Fiend's Grip and secure the kill. So beautifully done. Multiple deaths in a row now for the Timber.
Yep. It's the scariest thing, right, as a Timber, when you're dominating and just destroying the laning stage. But they have an answer, a natural answer for you. So you can fall every time you get caught by that grip. It doesn't feel free. Like sometimes you're playing this Timber and you're just diving tier 2s, right? Like minute 11, you're behind the tier 2 and no one can answer. No one can do anything about you. This time around, the Bat Rider, yeah, he just gets on top of you and you're gone. There's way too much damage.
But Ashara, they're gonna go for this. Yamich is able to bounce off Hakoda. They are kind of in the vicinity, maybe to help out. Slayer has the level 6, they're grouping up. Slayer's able to drop the ultimate, but it looks like it won't matter. And now Ankrad, he's blinked into the middle. Ramses is able to get the follow-up with the first stun, and that is enough to kill off Ankrad. No one is dead on Outsiders, and look at Yamich jump back into the river. Yakoda's got the catch onto the Disruptor as well as Outsiders. What a beautiful skirmish. They bring down 4 with 0 casualties.
I just don't know what it is about mind games, but in the laning stage, they look really formidable. Post laning stage, it just all falls apart. 2 games in a row now, even in previous series. But they usually do pick up the pace afterwards. Like they're like, okay, we own the laning stage. We've had our fun. We threw a little bit. Let's now get it back together. They just cannot afford many more deaths on this Timber. He will feel like a creep. That's how he feels when he has a good lane and then just becomes this piñata that everyone is killing for gold. Give back what you took in the laning stage.
What do you feel like Dino is going to be able to do for them this game on Mind Games? He's kind of been untouched so far. 1 death, 2nd place in the net worth. Is this a game where, you know, we were speaking a lot about the Terrorblade in game 1, that he can be this true hard carry, and maybe we're looking for Mind Games to have a hero that can help secure the late game? Is this something that we can look for in Jug?
I feel like it's similar, not necessarily as strong. He's going for that Blade Fury damage as well build, which is nice. But he has a couple of problems here. Like he's playing in a game in which there are multiple ways of dealing with BKB, right? So that Blade Fury will never be your safe haven. You won't be able to play the fight the way you usually do, right? Like you go in the moment you see you're about to get disabled, you spin to win. You can't really do that in this match. There's grip, there's bat.
We see how Outsiders are looking to play though. Desolator completed on GPK. All they need is a pick off, then they can lead this into an objective, whether that be Roche or the tier 1 tower. And we're kind of seeing the counterpart though in the Queen of Pain. They are trying to set up on Ramsey's top.
They have a glimpse.
They're trying to TP in maybe to help out. DM with the boots of travel. Static Storm's gonna get laid down from Slayer, even with the ultimate from Big Nim. So yeah, they'll guarantee the kill onto Ramses.
Yeah. Meanwhile, DM just farming their jungle. He TP'd in. He TP'd in thinking, yeah, maybe I'll be able to help, but as he wasn't able to do anything, no grip.
Firefly's about to expire. Alright, nice. Look at the movement speed. He's gonna be out of there. I think looking at the Queen of Pain at the moment, I didn't notice until now, but Ankrad, he's gone for this 4 points in the Shadow Strike build, so a lot more emphasis on trying to win that lane against the Templar Assassin, and it is kind of hurting for the moment. You're about to max out the screen, but it does kind of hinder your potential to keep up in farm. Could you see this maybe be an issue with this scaling?
It's always an issue, right? Whenever you build that way, you kind of slow yourself down with the farming patterns. You aren't as fast, so obviously it does hurt you.
Hakoda? Solo Omni Slash and get the kill afterwards with the Blade Fury, but Hakoda was just on a bit of a warding expedition. You wanted to see what was going on.
Yeah, goes in a little bit, eats an Omni Slash to the face, goes back to the fountain. Nice travels. Good little pick-off for the Jug, though. He needed that. They need they need anything they can get, and perhaps this glimpse on the Dawnbreaker.
Ooh, all right, Ramses. They're going to be able to cancel the ultimate Slayer. No hesitation with the Static Storm being dropped, so another death. Let's see what they've looked to do with it, though. A lot of heroes shown bottom. Does GPK consider Roche? She'd love a DD, but they're not going to get it.
Yeah, he can still do it. Like, he has this Desolator. It is a bit dangerous, because how far are you from the BKB? 400 gold? They could have waited for that, but it doesn't look like they will.
Just
That's
love
so
a
fast.
maxed out sidekick. Plus 65 damage. Oh boy. Cool hero.
Yeah, that's just way too fast. They don't even have any ways of checking, right? Like, they don't have any vision-giving capabilities. No Beastmaster with a Hawk, nothing like that. Instant smoke as well. Do you feel that these two offlaners have been feeding the most? Like the Timber and, well, not necessarily an offlaner, but Ramses?
Look at Ramses again. Or maybe he's not going to feed this time. It's going to be Big Them actually the one that will be killed off. Ramses playing with the threat of the BKB, so they cannot commit.
Yeah. It does change now, right? Once the BKBs are up, you can just constantly glimpse kill the Dawnbreaker, so... you can perhaps still kill her if you get level 2 Omni Slash, which you do have. It's just on cooldown for 10 more seconds.
Okay, to kill the courier. Oh no. No, I just want to drop some wards. I don't want them to know where we are. I think it's a big timing for outsiders. Of course, with the ages, but multiple BKBs. You got the blink on Yarmich. It's really ready to rock and roll. You got 3 BKBs, and that's going to be scary. Outsiders are purely magic damage. Jug is not, even now, he's pretty much all magic damage with the build he's gone for. Maelstrom along with the Ag Shard.
And do you see that changing? Like, there isn't a big item coming anytime soon that really helps them. Like, even the Queen of Pain, if you look at the items, she's going for a Linken's after an Urn.
Coda? They're gonna try and help protect your Coda for the moment, but you know, again,
Oh,
the solo
glimpse.
Omni Slash, they get the glimpse. All right. Another pickoff for Mind Games. Nothing crazy. Both supports. At least just stalling out maybe this window that outsiders have to get some objectives.
Yeah, I feel like they didn't have to make these couple of missteps on outsiders. They're in full control. But do you feel that Marcy just likes to style on you as you die? With a rebound?
Hang on, Ramses. He might be forced to, unless he got the Dukes on. Oh,
Juke.
Ramses. Look at this man. The Duke and shoes. He's out of there.
Those are some serious yukis right there. Gets away. Easy
They
game.
get Petasharo? They're gonna try and block off from the north. Damn,
They're a
can he
blinker, is it?
intercept? No, not the case. Alright, what an interesting game we got. A decent amount of 19 kills a minute in. Sorry, a minute. Kill a minute, I should say. But I feel like we're about to ramp up here. We're gonna have a lot of action breaking out as we got another death onto Kikoda down bottom. Poor old Bane. Having a bit of a difficult time.
Yeah, I feel like these two supports are actually slowing down outsiders a tiny bit. They're still pushing. You can see GPK on that mid lane. He's still going for it, but if his teammates were around, perhaps they would be a bit bolder to get big objectives. Top lane?
Incrab?
Did they not?
Look at the blink out.
Did they not check? That's crazy. Like, that's why he tipped him. They didn't check for the Lincolns.
Look at, like, Timber's even gone Lotus Soul first item. I don't think I've ever seen a Timber go Boot, Soul Ring, Wand into Lotus first.
Okay, it's not the wildest build. It has been not super popular, but it has been built perhaps a bit before your time. You know, you were still, I don't know, 10 years old or something when Timbers were
Okay.
doing that. But yeah, it can be done. And the only problem is you are building a lot into defensive items, like the Lotus on him, Lincoln's on Quap. It keeps you alive, but does it win you games? That's the question. Bot lane?
Another measly pick off onto Bignum. Nothing crazy. Again, it's just very defensive items on Mind Games, and we currently have issues on how their damage is going to be probably an issue, honestly, with all the BKBs like we've been saying. So you might be able to survive. Yes, it's a lot of single target, lasso, Fiend's Grip. The armor's going to be nice versus the TA, but they might just be able to out-sustain Mind Games. So you do have the Aegis expiring in the next 30 seconds. Mind Games, do they have anywhere to smoke to? You've got a ward that's about to expire in a minute down by the bottom jungle. The issue is they don't really have any lane shoved out to kind of smoke to as well.
I'm just checking what the plan is. Like, Batrider was out pushing bottom, so I thought that they will go for the tier 1, which they will in the end. You still have a little bit of that Aegis left, so you want to use it.
Dakota, he's able to get the setup. Beautifully done. The brain sap to be able to pop the Lincolns. He dropped the ward to see the Quap continuing in the lane, and they're going to dump everything onto him, even wanting a high five as well as DM. Well, he'll get the kill instead.
Everyone, just everyone comes. There's only Marcy left on the other side of the map, perhaps waiting for a different pick-off in the enemy triangle. Needs to be careful because of the glimpse.
They're connecting to Yarmich's location. There we go. DM's got to jump. They get the silence as well with the trap, so Jug's not going to be able to follow up. Slayer finally dropping the ultimate. It's just onto the Marcy for the moment. The rest of Radiant soon to part their way to this team fight. And Jug, he wants nothing of it. He's going to look to evade. He might die before the TPR. GPK is able to assassinate the Viper. And down to the south, Dino, that they're stalking him. He does have the TP up shortly. They can always use the lasso to be able to cancel that, so he needs to get the kill onto DM before he goes for the TP out, and he won't be able to do so. DM now can use the lasso to hold him into place, so Ramses just can beat onto the Juggernaut. Oh, Dino, it's going to be a tough life for him. Where's the rest of the team? Okay, Ramses will get the job done. No, everyone else is looking for +1 kills. GPK, along with Yakoda, hunting Ankrad top. Ankrad should be able to make it out with the blink back off cooldown. Oh,
he did sleep him, didn't he?
Yarmich.
Oh, that ward.
Oh.
If only he had Aether Lance. If he had it, he just plants the ward further away, then he catches him as well. Yeah, I don't know. For Mind Games, they're just getting caught, and they're getting baited into these fights. It all started with the Disruptor catching or being caught by Marcy, right? But they decide to fight there, even though they realistically couldn't. That Jug fight was fun, though. Like, he almost double killed there. Like, he almost killed both the Bat and the Dawnbreaker, but they were just playing with him. They had the BKBs.
I don't know, man. This is another game where we're kind of really seeing the issue of the lanes. Top shoved in, mid shoved in, bottom shoved in. It's obvious. Mind Games, you're making a play in. It's just been back-to-back games where they are really lacking this playmaker. Trent was saying they were asking for a position to jump in. Klopp can do that, but you really need to snowball. And you're now at this stage of the game where you jump in, you're going to be killed off. And we've seen it multiple times. Even though he did go for this Lincoln's, he will get a kill onto Yakoda. But they're just reading the map perfectly on outsiders. There's really nothing Mind Games can do at the moment. They should be able to get Dino. Look at this. The move down bottom. GPK is going to be able to follow. You've got the blink as well from DM. They're lacking the lasso for the moment. Ramses just jumping underneath the T2 tower. And all the BKBs can swarm underneath with no hesitation. They are not worried about anything in the world here on Outsiders.
He might die.
As they'll even go, why not? DM has got the lasso back available. Tier 2, Tier 3, all for what? Why not secure a triple kill for GPK? He's going to go for Ankrad. They've got the Bane teeping in. Hakoda.
Oh, the silence. Good old Chard. He is trying to get away. I believe he should be able to. But 3 of your heroes dying next to the tier 2 and then 1 dying in your base behind the tier 3s. Not a good feeling, Big Num. They're just falling apart.
Okay, so...
It's hard to answer. I know what you want to ask. Like, how do they come back into this? What is happening so far? Why are they feeding? I know, but it's difficult to say. They just feel very disconnected on the side of Mind Games. It's like they're not really on the same page. Queen of Pain isn't in the fight next to the tier 2 on the bottom lane. Then they get picked off there. Then Queen of Pain is fighting. It's It's like they just need to do some plays together, but it's hard now. There's even an Aegis on TA.
Aegis on TA, Agshard over on Ramses on the Dawnbreaker, who's level 20 as well. GPK, he might just two-hit Ankrad. He's got okay amount of armor. Okay, at least he's not going to run in the lane. They did see the blink though, so GPK is pinging out Ankrad's positioning. So I need to move down. Smoke's
He
not
broke the
pop.
smoke.
Oh no.
They don't have detection.
Slayer?
No detection.
He's got no detection. Where's your detection, guys? You need detection. Oh no. Slayer's going to drop the static storm, but look at Dino just melt. GPK
You know, pain?
is way too farmed, and now Ankrad as well. Hakoda might find him. Ankrad's got... Dude, he's playing with fire.
He's trying his damn best to delay this game as long as possible. He TP stop instantly and starts out pushing. Like, he's been having a decent game. It's just that their whole lineup is just so hard to execute at this point. Like, go ahead.
I was going to say, for games coming up on my games, is this Viper support something you're going to consider again?
There's a lot of players playing Viper support and it's working out well for them. I wouldn't even say it's a Viper support. Like, right now, Timber is my biggest issue on their side. Okay. And from the laning stage was good, right? But Petushara just couldn't find anything post laning. It's going in though.
Petusharas? Yeah, they're going to jump in on Ramses. Again, they're just disconnected. The follow-up's not there. Joke's going to move into the middle, but they instantly answer this attempt at the lasso. Fiend's Grip is out as well. This might be this last fight, honestly. They are completely disconnected. Not playing as a team is mind games, and it's going to come at a cost. GPK will lose his first slap, but Yamich is in with a save, dragging back Petushara. They're going to lay down the Static Storm. Solar Guardian, they're protecting GPK. Yakoda, if need be, can help out with the Nightmare as well, but beautiful toss away as Yamich protecting the Templar Assassin. They are back in. Ramses with the triple stun. They can blow up Petushara. They're going to turn to Ankrad on the high ground, again wanting the high fives for good measure. They'll get the kills instead, and they'll get the series victory instead. As Outsiders, they will force some tiebreakers. Oh, GPK. A little bit more to say. Oh god, GPK.
What did he say? I didn't see, just Petushara and that's it?
Yeah, I might have said something else. I'm not 100% certain.
I didn't see the chat. I didn't see the chat line, sadly, but yeah, this one was a stomp. Petushara just did not have a game at all. This duo offlane Viper plus Timber, they ended up with 2 kills and 13 deaths. That's probably not what you want from your duo offlane. It was a difficult game for Timber as well. I feel that they needed to play a bit more with him, because from the moment the laning ends and Batrider gets a couple of levels, plus you get the grip, he's not safe. And he felt safe. He was feeling safe, perhaps because he had a good lane, right? And then they just killed him 3-4 times in a row. He's forced into an early Lotus. Yeah, it just doesn't feel good.
Well, unfortunately for Mind Games, they are unable to secure their place in Division 1 for the next DPC with this series loss. So they do have tiebreaker leads. That, they're not relegated just yet. They're going to have some tiebreakers for those 2 relegation spots between the lads on Rune Eaters and Paripani. And well, for Outsiders with this series victory, it means we have also a 3-way tie for the top of the table between Spirit, Na'Vi, and Outsiders, of course. Very important for both ways, for relegation and for the top of the table for DPC points as well, just to potentially qualify off the back of points for TI. We're going to be done, though, for our second series of the night. It's going to be Outsiders with a pretty convincing 2-0 victory over Mind Games. We're going to send to a break, and when we come back, we've got the panel and an interview with one of the lads on Outsiders.
Hello and welcome back. Mind Games might not have had any stuns in that draft, but that helped Outsiders pull off a stunning victory in this game too. Very exciting. Trent, talk me through what went so right here for Outsiders.
Well, it started out okay for my games, like it sort of did previously before, right? With the lanes looking at least maybe not so dominant this time, but at least kind of even. But to me, Outsiders just really playing well in terms of the tools they had and knowing like when to make the right jumps. I was really impressed, honestly. I feel like there was a lot of good team coordination and the engagements. I always felt like no matter what my games tried, there was some sort of a coverage there, be it through itemization or be it through like the plays between Hakoda and Yamich. It looked really well coordinated, honestly. It was a real pleasure to watch a lot of these fights.
Danog, any thoughts?
I think Outsiders just abused the fact that they had a better draft. You know, like it really didn't feel like this Queen of Pain or Viper could do anything. A lot of the times where Ankrad was making rotations, he had to pop everything, sometimes even his ultimate, to be able to kill even a Bane. And that just, again, enabled Outsiders to continue scaling. GPK had a great game, and it was off the back of a lot of space creation made by Ramses.
Well, speaking of space creation by Ramses, we need to create a space for Ramses because we've got an interview with him coming up right now. Ramses, are you there?
Yo, hello.
Hey,
I'm here.
congratulations. You must be pleased with that. Was it a good victory for you or a bit of a routine one?
Um, can you repeat, please? Question.
Was it a big victory for you, or did you feel like it was a bit of a routine, easy one?
It's just a game, you know, just a game, Dota 2. Nothing more, nothing special.
Fair enough. Certainly, you must have been really pleased with your performance across the two games there. Your Terrorblade game was really, really good in game one. Do you feel you're at your best at the moment?
Game 1 is not that easy. We lost 2 side lanes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's why game is like going a bit delay, you know. But we know our like strongest timings and when we need to like make a move, you know. We're oh, never mind. That's it.
Fair enough. Personally, you've played really well across the series. Are you happy with your personal performance, or is it all about the team?
I think we have a good boot camp, you know. We have a good time to is together. Like we talk a lot about Dota. We talk about a new patch and no, just easy. You know? Like
Good to
after
hear.
boot camp, we on streak. This series is like it doesn't matter. But we're gonna play tiebreakers. It's gonna be super hype, you know,
Mm-hmm.
tomorrow. That's
Yeah.
what we prepare for.
Yeah, you're against two big teams in the tiebreakers of Navi and Team Spirit. Do you think you're as good as them? Are you going to win?
I don't know actually what to say, but we will try our best, you know. We are all on majors. We're gonna just play good Dota, you know. All games best of one, just random. I don't know what you can feeling for tomorrow games. Just good Dota, just good Dota.
Well, good Dota is all we can ask for. Trent, have you got any questions for Ramses?
Sure, Ramses. I noticed that your in-game name is Respect Puck Players, and it is as well for Slayer. I wanted to know who had it first.
Slayer.
Okay, all right, good. Are you enjoying your games versus the Puck Players? Is a little smile
Yeah,
there?
very enjoyable, very enjoyable. I mean,
Okay, good.
in pro games, professional games, like it's more easy to play because it's like not too much heroes in Dota to like counter pick puck,
Mm-hmm.
and in matchmaking, guys, like doesn't fucking matter. And,
Yeah.
and you just play and can kill him. Not
Feels a
enjoyable.
lot better. Yeah. I did want to ask you about game one when you're playing the Terrorblade, and obviously you had a bit of a rough laning stage, as you said, versus the Dawnbreaker. When you have those bad lanes, do you find that's something that you deal with better now as opposed to when you were a younger player?
Actually, first game we should pick a Razor, so we can win a top lane, like I mean the easy lane, and we have a more space in the game to play. Like we have a more space if we have Razor. But I just wanna play Terrorblade. I don't know. Breaker is like one of the best, you know, laners in Dota. I don't know. You can just go like whatever lane against you. I'm laning stage in second game. I play against Timber and Viper on my lane when I'm strange hero, you know. But
Yeah.
like it doesn't matter. Anyway, I have my networks, I have my items. That's why this hero is like broken. Like laning stage is so good for this hero. I don't know. You can beat them.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Yeah, perfect. Thank you. Danog, do you have anything?
I just want to know, do you ever feel like you're being personally targeted in a lot of these games? Because it really does feel like your opponents give a lot of attention to you in particular.
Uh, Actually, I don't know what to say. I think we play fine. Mm, Maybe opponents not showing a best Dota, but for us we playing fine for sure. Like more than like more than just good.
I appreciate that. What I was trying to ask was, like in these games, right? Like if the opponents can go after GPK or they can go after, everyone else DM, for example, they always seem to focus you. And do you feel like they're trying to tilt you, or do you think that
Oh,
it's just
yeah. I mean
they
this.
need to take out the enemy carry?
Actually, I don't know. I'm not thinking about this.
Okay, okay.
Fair enough.
One other question: in those, in like game number one, where you said you lost a couple of lanes, who's the one that makes that sort of call to, just calm down and play around your timings at the longer stage? Because GPK went a Midas, and that was like only the 10th time that a Midas has been got ever on a Void Spirit. So who's the one that talks to you about all of that stuff?
I don't know. In when game started, all first moves like saying Yamich, maybe me something about laning. We talk with DM something about laning stage. Uh, about after like 15 minutes or like 10 minutes, the Corv who have a best game, on the map, you should like lead the game. That's a simple. Who have a best game, who he just lead the game. Nothing more.
Cool. And what was your reaction when you saw the Midas? Were you like, what the hell? Or was
Ac-
it something that you were like, oh, this is
Actually,
funny?
I didn't see. After game, he said like a good build. I have a lot of money. And like,
Nice, nice.
okay.
Easy.
Wonderful.
All right.
Well,
That's all for me.
well, thanks so much for joining us for Ramses. Good luck in the tiebreakers. Are you excited to head to another LAN? You must be looking forward to it.
Yes, very excited. Very excited. A lot of time. Like 2 years, I'm not going on LAN finals. I'm just very excited. Okay,
Well,
guys. Thank you to take
Thank
me on
you.
view. I'm going.
Goodbye.
I'm going, guys.
Bye bye.
Okay.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Always good when the interviewee declares the interview over. I was going to end it anyway. He didn't have to demand it to be over, but that's fine. Lovely to hear from Ramses, one of my favourite players of all time. So great to catch up with him. Any final thoughts on this series trend?
Well, we had both series go the way as expected today, so this one, of course, no exception, and it means we get the result that we were all looking forward to. Three-way tiebreakers, best of ones. I like that Ramsey said anything can happen. Bit of randomness, because we, of course, have seen that in the past across all the teams and all the best ones that have occurred at every level of Dota. So I'm looking forward to it, and those all begin tomorrow.
And it's
Yes.
not just one three-way tiebreaker, it's two. One for the seedings at the major, one for which one of those three teams stays in Division 1. So hype on both ends.
So a big day tomorrow of tiebreakers. You're going to need to break out the tie rack for these because we've got a huge number of games tomorrow and they could theoretically go on for an infinite amount of time. So really get this.